The next speaker is Alan Carvalho.
Good afternoon, council members. First of all, I wanted to say how proud I was to watch the national news and have Mayor Lamb represent us so well. One of the comments she made was that we're a community that reach out and help each other. And that's true. We are that way, whether we're part of Rotarians or not. What's upsetting to me is that I'm hearing on Facebook that where the city is making it difficult for Pastor Rick to proceed with getting volunteers. Now, I did call Charlie, and he gave me an understandable explanation. But then I hear from Pastor Rick, they're stopping my efforts to get to the people that need help. I had to turn away a large group that's much needed. Help me get to the bottom of who made this decision. It's BS. The disconnect from our council and leadership is unreal. You can see Mayor Ortiz, Mayor Gardner, and Councilmember Hostage as reaching out to the community. The residents were so upset. I'm very frustrated. I think that the opportunity to reach out to the community and have some kind of leadership is great, but I think it's foolish for us not to take advantage of Pastor Rick and say, bring him into the fold of those decisions. Ask him how he can get more volunteers. The city taking over suddenly puts stops on things. I mean, respectfully, I'm part of the city, I understand. But we get political. We get more involved in egos instead of serving the people. So instead of having a smooth answer here, I think that we really have to reach out and be better at what we're doing. An example of not doing the right thing is when we got the problem with Ernesto's restaurant and the pavement that was going to be installed on his alleyway. Folks, we can do better. We're adults here. We need to do our research. Whether he's selling the restaurant or not, we don't know. But we do know one thing. There's many, many better reasons to spend that money on asphalt and other parts of the city that don't have good roads. We've got to remember that even though you don't have much attendance in council, we're watching. We're looking. You're representing us, all of us, not just your districts. I'm asking you, I'm begging you, do better. You've been doing better. We all improve in time, but there's so much more we can do. Reach out to the community, find out what we need and want, and let's all provide it for each other. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
The next speaker is Rick Saldivar.
All right, today I'm a little bit out of character, so you guys don't have to bear with me. I think it's fair for me to express what I feel. I'm here today to discuss the disservice that the city did today for the community. In my 15 plus years of coordinating outreach efforts to help communities in distress, I have never encountered such incompetent leadership. Monday at 1:49, I sent a text to Gregory stating that we had volunteers on standby for any needs that the city and residents might need. And in short, his response was that to be on standby because things were a bit unstable, and I agreed. Never heard from him again. I wasn't until residents living in the most impacted area started asking for volunteers on social media that our community jumped into action. They were overwhelmed, distraught, and worried about their homes and property. But when volunteers showed up with shovels and got to work, their morale was lifted and half the block was cleared. And I sent you guys some pictures. Today there was even a more organized group that showed up. That group was sent away, leaving residents to fend for themselves. The only explanation was safety. It was not an issue the day before, so what changed? In fact, we've seen the mayor taking pictures, doing interviews. What changed? I don't know. Never was there any mention of a so-called volunteer command center in progress. We could have worked with that. We could have worked with that. What a beautiful thing that you guys set up a center where we could all meet, have a point of contact, and disperse. That was never mentioned. I went down the line as instructed by the police officer, and not one person ever mentioned this command center. Not Commander Barnett, not Raymond Gregory, who I called at that very instant, not Nancy Ross. They had no clue. I say all this because some of us are really in tune with our community, and we are here to help. Some of us are skilled at what we do because we are the working force. We have knowledge of meter placements, equipment operations. We have knowledge of liabilities, and how far we can go in these efforts without pushing those liability boundaries. And if we do push them, we pay lots of money to insurances to cover us and our volunteers and our volunteer workforce. We know how to mobilize and execute these projects. Through this whole ordeal, you guys have been behind the ball. And I don't mean public works, police officers, fire department, or upper management. I'm talking about you guys, because we elected you. So if we pick up the phone and ask you a question, we expect some answers. It's not fair for me to be calling Mr. Crum, everybody else. We elected you and we trusted you, and that didn't serve us today. I hope that you guys have learned something, and that communicating with the very people that elected you is of importance. You need to be in the trenches with your community. We're going to try again for the next few days, and I hope to see you out there with a shovel. Thank you.